I used to blame myself for everything that felt wrong with me, which led me to reading several books that ended up changing my perspective on trauma and healing. Here are the ones that helped me the most. I love books because they're extremely accessible to most people, unlike therapy. And while I'm a huge advocate for therapy, I also believe there are other ways to help us heal, and books can be our first step. So for each book, I'll be sharing what made me read it in the first place, a specific pain point it helped me with, and a key takeaway that it left me with. For some of these books, I don't have the actual physical copies, but I do have them on my Kindle. So my first book is Set Boundaries, Find Peace, A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself by Nedra Glover Tawwab. I believe is how you pronounce her name. So what made me read the book in the first place is at the time, let me see when I bought the book. I bought the book in 2022, so 3 years ago. And at that time, I was in therapy and I was really struggling with how to be in relationship with my narcissistic mother, as well as some other family members. As a result of one of many fallouts that I had with my mother, my therapist told me that she was following this therapist, because she's actually a mental health professional, licensed mental health professional as well. And she was like, yeah, I follow her on Instagram. She posts really good things. But the specific pain point it helped me with is learning how to be in relationship with these people, that I was desiring to like restructure the way in which I had been in relationship with them. And so it really helped me to have language for setting boundaries, and it helped me see how important boundaries are. A key takeaway that the book left me with is understanding what boundaries actually are and the importance of them. So she says that boundaries are expectations and needs that help you feel safe and comfortable in your relationships. It sounds simple, but as someone who was a victim of narcissistic abuse, I was taught that my needs and my expectations were important in relationships. So it was really difficult to set those boundaries. But I think really understanding why boundaries are important for us as people helped me get away from some of the guilt that other people can place on you or assign to you when you're looking to create boundaries. Another key takeaway that I'll give you really quickly is that knowing that boundaries will make other people uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean that you should not have them. So this is a book that I definitely recommend you read if you do struggle with boundaries. So read this one, it's a really good one. The next book that helped me, and I know that it can help you too, is The Body Keeps the Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma by Bessel van der Kolk. Hope I said his name correctly. By the way, I recognize that I do not like my Kindle Paperwhite that I got. So if you have any recommendations for a better e-reader, please let me know in the comments. What made me want to read it? Well, I experienced a lot of somatic manifestations of the stress that I was under when I chose to step away from the relationship with my narc mother initially. And some of the symptoms also, like the manifestations also happened before I even had a name for what was happening. And it wasn't until I started therapy that I started to see the correlation between the mind and then what was happening on my body and how things were coming out. So the specific pain point it helped me with is understanding the relationship between your body and your mind. Most of us are taught to ignore our bodies and ignore what our bodies are telling us. Hell, ignore our minds. And so imagine if you're kind of just existing. My key takeaway is that our body holds information that our minds don't often remember. Found that fascinating because I did not know that my experience of my mother was because of narcissistic personality disorder. Had no idea. But my body, all of the years of experiencing had built up. In addition to a whole lot of other things that happened throughout life. It's like, oh, no wonder everything came to a head when it did. No wonder I could no longer avoid what was happening in my life. My body was like, hello, you've been ignoring everything. I definitely recommend this book just to have the knowledge to understand how the brain, mind, and body are actually connected when it comes to your trauma. Honestly, I need to read it again at this point because it's been years since I read it. So I have the physical book, the physical copy of this book. It's called It's Not You by Dr. Ramani. She's really popular here on YouTube, which is where I found her first. But Identify and Healing from Narcissistic People. She's a straight shooter, pretty much. She's very straight to the point. She has the mindset that you can't help these people. her words, not mine, but like, that you can't help these people. And she's like, these people should not be parents. This book, it was a more recent read for me, sometime this year, I believe. What made me read it was my current therapist recommended it. The specific pain point it helped me with is continuing to recognize that it's not me and to continue to detach myself for the self-blame, because I literally couldn't control this if I wanted to. So much effort goes into understanding narcissistic people and learning how to survive these relationships that you forget that the rest of your life will unfold as you heal, evolve, and mentally or literally move on. A narcissistic relationship can be a master class in your own potential, a reminder that you are worth fighting for, you are lovable, you have an identity outside of this relationship, and you can dump the worn fairy tales and rewrite your narratives. So a key takeaway for me is that there's more to my life than what I experienced at the hands of my narcissistic mother. And because of all the damage that these relationships can do to you, it can be really hard to see outside of that, especially if you have not and are not doing the work to bring yourself out of it. Like that quote says, your life will unfold as you continue to heal, evolve, and move on. And I honestly have experienced that firsthand and continue to experience it. It's just reassurance reading this from somebody who studied these people. Like, it's possible for those of us who have survived this to rewrite our stories and move on, but we have to recognize that we're worth that. I think that this book is a necessary read for anybody who has been in or is currently in a narcissistic relationship. The next book that helped me is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents: How to Heal from Distant, Rejecting, or Self-Involved Parents by Lindsay C. Gibson. First heard about this book from one of my old friends who actually was recommended the book by her therapist. And I was just like, I just want to know more. I just want to understand, because I like to go deep with things, okay? The specific pain point it helped me with is understanding my other parent, if you want me to be quite frank. A key takeaway for me, to be honest, is that acceptance that I actually am the more emotionally mature person in the relationship with my parents. Just reading through these different things, it's like, well, this seems like common sense to me, but clearly it's not for whatever reason. It helped me to begin to step in that power more and not second guess myself so much. Even if you don't have a narcissistic parent, having parents who things just don't seem right and you're like, what? Like, you can't validate my experiences, all these things. Read this. It's a good one as well. This final book is one of my favorites, and having this come from somebody of the African diaspora also adds another layer to this, even though we might come from different places. I really connected to this book, and it's called Break the Cycle: A Guide to Healing Intergenerational Trauma by Dr. Marielle Bouquet. What made me read this book is I am a part of the Exodus Summit community that was started by Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow. Any Black women who are looking to live differently, join that community. They have a yearly summit that takes place in October. By the time this video is posted, the summit would have already happened, but I believe you can purchase replays. So I'll put a link to that in the description. But she was a speaker and I connected so deeply with what she was presenting. The specific pain point that it helped me with is not feeling stuck in the pain that I felt from the relationship that I had with my mother. I feel like I've lost a lot of things, you know. I mean, who doesn't want a relationship with their parents, let alone their mother, a healthy one? And so understanding that the trauma that I have experienced has just compounded intergenerationally, things that I could never know because I was never able to be in relationship with a lot of my ancestors. But I think that one of the most impactful takeaways for me is that, according to Dr. Bouquet, she says that intergenerational trauma is a wounding of the soul. It's a multi-level emotional injury that impacts a person's mind, body, and spirit. Therefore, healing must also be multi-dimensional. It helped me see that even though I can go to all of the talk therapy sessions that I can schedule, if I want to heal holistically. I have to do things on different levels that are healing my soul, my body. And one of those things for me has been dance. The movement of dance and the expression of dance has allowed my mind and my body to express things that I don't actually have the words for. It's just proving what Dr. Buquet says in her book about healing intergenerational trauma being a multi-layered experience. And so that's why I share dance videos here on my channel. It's a part of my healing. I would love it to be a part of your healing as well. Finding joy, reconnecting with my body, sharing this with you so you can reconnect with your bodies as well on your healing journey. So please check out the playlist. I really enjoy creating that content, and it just brings me so much joy to engage with it myself, but also share that with you as well. So these are the 5 books that changed everything for me and really helped me view healing and trauma from a different perspective. These resources are there, so take advantage of them. And I really hope you go and read these books. They've helped me the most. So I hope they do the same for you.